Howdy folks, it's Journal here, and welcome back to the Newfoundland Pastures Bush Trip 2 legs per video. We already did legs 1 and 2 in the previous video. Hopefully you've seen it. If not, watch that, because we're going right into leg 3 and 4 right away, right now. Let's go. What are we waiting for? Alrighty, you know how bush trips go. We repair and refuel, although I don't know if we really need to. Do we still have GPS? We do. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it used to be as soon as you left it, they came back, your GPS would be gone, but now it looks like they made a change so you always have GPS. Well, I mean, that's fine. The benefit is that you get to see all the points of interest, which now have a new name. I don't know why, but whatever. You can now tell where all the points of interest are so you don't miss them, but you don't have to navigate on your own. I mean, that's what we used to do. We used to navigate on our own. It said heading and timing and blah, 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 blah. This is still broken in that if you start the timer and you leave and come back, it goes back to 0. It used to not be that way, but for the past couple updates it has. And also if you collapse all this, leave and come back, it's expanded again, which used to stay. So I don't know why that changed a couple versions back. Of course you can minimize it and it stays, but it's nasty to look at. Well, I guess then we will use the GPS since we can. I don't know if this is going to be a permanent thing or if we're always going to have GPS. I mean, we could always screw it up so that the GPS goes away, I guess, but I don't know. Strange. We'll go to 3,000 feet, I think, unless it's too low, but 3,000 has been fine so far. Flight director, I guess we'll use nav for GPS. And vertical speed and up 800 feet per minute, and come down here. I already did pitot heat. Okay, let's see where they left us on the runway. Oh, we're on the very end of the runway. Okay, that's easy. Obviously we have plenty of runway then. Look around in case you forgot what happened a few days ago on the previous leg. We're following that road and they came in and landed. Pretty straightforward. This is more of like a geology based, not geographical, geological. I have COVID brain. I had COVID a week or two ago and my brain is still weird, although it was weird before that. So geological bush trip. So there's just like ponds to look at so far. It's just been ponds and lakes for the past hour so far, so we'll see what changes. But anyway, here we go. Let's get going. Halls Bay. After lifting off, fly over the town of Springdale, then over to Halls Bay, and then we get to the bay, we'll cut back and read about Miles Cove. Okay, I think we got everything ready to go. Flaps down 1, parking brake should be off. Hold the brake spool up, and parking brake is on now. Fine, whatever. And let's get going. We'll cut back on the RPMs in a moment here, and we will just fly away and follow the GPS, I guess, since we can. Might as well take advantage of it since we normally don't have it. Brakes to stop the wheels, gear coming up. Fly this way for a moment. Flaps coming in. And yeah, everything looks good. It says the GPS is to the right though, even though you look there and it's straight out. That doesn't make any sense. So let's hand fly this for a moment and see what's going on. So even though the GPS is there, it could be wrong, which would be fine because then we would just use the heading bug. See, this doesn't make any sense at all. That makes no sense. What's this say? It says do 94 degrees for 258. So let's do that. Can we zoom that out from here? Yeah. Oh, not really. Zoom it out, zoom it out. There we go. Interesting. So 94 degrees for 3 minutes. Let's go 94 degrees ourselves. And that makes a lot more sense. So that's going to change a few things here. We're going to use heading bug instead. Whoops, I went too far. Let's zoom this over to 94 degrees. Let's keep an eye on our climb. That's 59 degrees. Let's keep going. 3 and 4, and let's engage autopilot. There we go. I mean, I would prefer if, well, I got to correct for a mistake. I would prefer if the GPS doesn't work, right? Let's just get rid of it. Because if the GPS doesn't work, then we have to navigate on our own, kind of. Using Edibug to follow the white line, so that's weird. I don't know. It's like a bug, right? A double bug. The first bug being GPS doesn't work after you leave the sim, which is fine. The second bug being you have a GPS line, but it's not right in the computer part. I don't know. I just know we're headed to this thing. Halls Bay, I think it was. Halls Bay. When we get there, we'll read about the next best thing. Whoops. What's it over here? Anywho, I'm going to fly there, give you some sightseeing, and I'll see you when we get there. Okie dokie, the bay is right there under the nose. Let's read about the next thing, what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to go 96 degrees, which isn't much of a difference. Like this. And let's get the timer up since the timer there doesn't work. And let's hit start. No, I guess we gotta move over to start. There we go. Now hit start. There we go. We're headed to Miles Cove. Gain a visual on Sunday Cove Island and then follow the Port Anson Road to the village of Miles Cove, which lies on the east of the Sunday Cove Inlet. Right, Inlet Island. So there's this island, I guess this is a long island here, and there's Cove there. 2 minutes out. Bring back throttle or bring back prop a little bit so we stay out of the red. There we go. Whoop, get out of the red. Alright, well, simple as that. We're gonna head over to this thing right here. 20 seconds of sightseeing, I guess, for you. I'll see you in a moment. Alright, there's our cove right under the nose, so we'll keep this view up while we read about the next thing, so maybe we'll see the town. Then we're going to go 118 degrees for 2.5 minutes or so from Miles Cove, turn to the east-southeast and pass over Sunday Cove to Pileys Island, then cross over Stuckey Cove to Triton Island, gain a visual on Brighton Road where it makes 180-degree turn south of the Butler Cove. The village of Triton lies on the southeastern shore of Butler Cove. So we're going to change 118 degrees here in a second. And then look for a road that turns, and then the town is in there. Let's hop outside briefly. It's our town. There it is. There's our cove right here. Miles Cove, and now we're going to go off over here to look for Butler Cove or something. So let me change our heading to 118, I think it said. 118. And for about 2.5 minutes. So let's stop, reset, and start. And how are we? Look at that. We're exactly on the GPS track without even looking at it. There we go. That's how that works. Alrighty, cool. I'll see you in a minute when we get to this other cove, which should be right up there. Alright, the town should be under our nose pretty much. Let's hop outside and have a peek. Do you see the road make a 180-degree turn? We do right here. There's a 180-degree turn. Goes from there to there, and there are your towns and your coves. So there we go. We found it. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? We've done enough of these now that we're just enjoying the trip, basically. There's nothing terribly different, but that is good, right? We don't want surprises when we find an airplane. All right, now we're going to 106 degrees for 5 minutes. That's a long time. Not really. 106 degrees. Let's come back like this. And what does it say? It says Fortune Harbor, head east from Triton, passing over the northern extremity of Badger Bay to the small Woody Island. Continue past Woody Island, maintaining course to cross the northern reaches of the new bay. Sight Long Point in the near distance, passing just south of the bay and pass just south of it. Fly across Phoebe Bright to the northern edge of the northwestern arm of Fortune Harbor, then reach Fortune Harbor just north of Sweeney Island. I assume this is Woody Island. I assume we're supposed to pass just south of this arm or something, and then we'll reach Fortune Harbor north of Sweeney Island in about 5 minutes. Okay. Enjoy the sights, and I'll see you then at Fortune Harbor. I'll see you at Fortune Harbor. Alright, so under our nose is our harbor. Unfortunately, you can't see it, so let's go outside and see it. There we go. There's our harbor. Not looking too bad. The autogen trees are on the right spots, and it looks fabulous as long as you don't get too close to the ground in this area. Alrighty, we gotta get moving though. We gotta read about the next best thing, so let's restart the timer. And what does it say? It says 95 degrees, and we'll read about it. 95 is this way. Please, there we go, almost straight. What are we doing? After Fortune Harbor, we're going to Purcell's Harbor at Fortune Harbor. Turn slightly to the north and pass over Ship Run, staying north of the Exploits Island and Black Island. Passing Black Island, gain a visual on the northwestern end of New World Island, pass over Sam Cove, which lies just north of the small village of Valley Pond, and then reach Tizard Harbor. From Tizard Harbor, maintain course and cross Friday Bay and gain visual on the southern reaches of South Twingate Island. Jeez. The village of Purcell's Harbor lies on the north side of a prominent cove just ahead. Coves, islands, harbors, and we're looking for Purcell's Harbor on the north side of a prominent cove. Okay, well, we're looking for a prominent cove, and it's going to take us how many minutes? 7.5. So now that I'm dizzy and lightheaded from all that reading, I'm going to leave you with some sightseeing and enjoy the sights, because there's going to be water and trees, rocky shores, coves, islands, and harbors. That's what we're going to see more of. Let's enjoy it the best as we can. It's not too much of the same thing yet, but it's going to be by the time we're done. So let's just enjoy it, and let's look at the ocean. I'll see you in a little bit. So up there is our prominent cove town thing we're looking for. There's a town right here too, but that's not the one we're looking for. So let's read about the next thing. I'll change the heading in a little bit. We're at 95 now. We'll move to 100 later. Purcell's Harbor. I guess that's what we're looking for. Nice bridge. We'll take a close up on that bridge when we go over it. Anyway, once we get there, we'll turn 100 degrees and we'll continue south on course, or continue on course after reaching Purcell's Harbor, pass over the northeastern extremity of New World Island, which is probably this here, right? And then gain a visual on South Island, which must be there, and that's only 4 minutes out. And then we have the airport right after that, so let's keep reading. Then we'll go to Fogo. From South Island, cross a wide strait and sight Fogo Island, Portuguese for fire. Fogo Island is the largest of the islands surrounding the main island of Newfoundland. Gain a visual on the intersection of Fogo Road and Deep Bay Road. Fogo Airport lies just to the west of the intersection. So across over South Island, they go to this big island that's appeared in the distance, and there's a runway there somewhere, 100 degrees, same heading. So straight this way. Very simple. Alright, let's see if we can see that bridge. We can't, it's just under us, so let's hop outside and reset our drone because it got all funky monkey. I guess it's not really a bridge, it's just a road with trees on it. I got excited about nothing. Alrighty, I'm going to change this 100 degrees and then we're going to go straight into an airport over here somewhere. I'll see you when it's time to approach and land. Well, the runway has been spotted already. At least I think that's it. Seems so much closer, but I guess not. Yeah, that's it. So bring back throttles. Let's see if we can descend and land from here without having to go around. I think we can. We'll do gear down in a second. Actually, we can. Now we're slow enough. Look outside for the final looks. That was South Island right there. Now this is the biggest island right here. Looking beautiful. Let's see if we can slow down and descend in time. I'm sure we can. And then we'll do the next leg in this video as well. 2 legs per video for this bush trip. Not a problem, it seems. Kind of a quicker one, 6 legs. This is 2 hours and 22 minutes on one screen. And then it says 3 hours on another, so we'll see how long it takes us. Still above flap range though, but we should be okay. I was just enjoying the sights and everything, and all of a sudden, bam, I see this strip of gray in front of us. I'm like, oh, it's already time. Kind of like when you're expecting a kid, 9 months seems forever, then all of a sudden it's like, whoops, here we go, it's already time. First set of flaps down, and there's a tree right there. And we cannot clip the tree because it will count as a crash. We'll go over the tree, and I'm sure we have plenty of time to land on this runway. I'm sure it's longer than it looks. So I'm not going to panic like I did the last time we did a bush trip with this plane, where I botched every landing because I was freaking out about trees. So let's get over this tree here. Wherever it is, there it is. And we've got plenty of runway. Okay, there's the tree passage, there's the runway, We'll come in hot, level out, let the stall and ground effects. Nope. Dang it. That was so bad. The first one was great, the last two were bad. I told you this airplane and I are not friends. Mainly because it's stalling like 15 knots above the red tape. So let me think of that for next time. I can still go over the trees sharp, I can still come down. I just need to do it like 10 degrees or 10 knots faster, 5 knots faster than I normally would. So I think that's what we'll do next time. Anyway, it's all theory till we do it. So next leg, same video, here we go. It says our aircraft has been refueled because it does it automatically now, which is interesting. There's a GPS track. We're not really going to use it. We didn't need to. We did it all by ourselves in the previous leg. So let's stay at 3,000. It seems to be working okay. Flight director back on. Heading bug. We'll go up 800 feet per minute or so. Like this. And timer. Whoops, our timer's still going? That's weird. Okay. We have enough runway, right? Because I stopped in like 2 feet. So I did not have to come down. I mean, that steep was fine and everything. It just I was too slow because I wasn't expecting it to stall so soon. So next time we'll keep that in mind. We'll come in a little hot, and then we'll see what happens. That's the plan. All right, next leg. It's a quickie from Fogo Airport. Set heading to the south-southwest and go over the southernmost part of Fogo Island, which is Stag Harbor. And then immediately after that, we'll make a slight change and go to Fredericton, maintain heading over passing Stag Harbor, pass over Perry Island, and cross to Sir Charles Hamilton Sound to reach Fredericton, a small town supported by lumber and fishing, like everything in Newfoundland, right? So 219 degrees, then the quick leg to 216 degrees, 5 minutes total or so, and then 10 to the airport. So what is it? 219, 200. Probably would be faster to go the other way. Maybe not. 219 for 2 minutes and then 216. So we'll set it to 216 by the time we get situated. So we use 216 and about 5 minutes total, and then we'll talk about the airport. If you want to see where it is on the map, it's right there. But we don't need it. Here we go. Parking brake off. It's probably on. Well, we want one set of flaps down. Yeah, parking brake is off, and there we go. Here we go. Oh, a lot of right rudder needed. Do we have some wind? No, there's a little bit of crosswind from the left behind us, but not a big deal. Wind doesn't really matter, these bush rips, except for the Patagonia one. That was ridiculous. Other than that, wind has never mattered in all 27 of these or whatever. Minus the one. Here we go. Brakes off the wheels. Gear coming up. And flaps coming up. And we'll hand fly for a minute, just because we can. We need a pretty steep climb to get over this. Whoa. Come on. Swing around, look out the windows here while we can. Try to maintain a standard rate turn without looking. Let's step on the right rudder a little bit. See the little dash under the triangle? That's your ball. Whoop, we went past it because I was having too much fun looking around. Alright, let's engage autopilot. Smooth handoff, can't even tell. Start the timer. 5 minutes out, we will know we're here. And then we'll read about the airport. So there we go. Back to sightseeing. I'll see you in a couple minutes. And there it goes. That's what we were looking for. It came up way too fast. I don't really understand how. We're still climbing and everything, but we are just hauling. So that was not 5 minutes. That was like 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever it says there. Okay, well, geez. Let's see. Let's do 214 degrees now. So bring this back a couple. And we're going to go for about 10 minutes or so, it says. And we're going to go to Gander International Airport, gain a visual on Gander Bay, and track it to its eastern coastline, remaining well inland of the shore. Sight the Gander River, Newfoundland and Labrador, Route 330, which parallels it. Follow the route to Gander International Airport. Gander International Airport has played important roles throughout its history. It was built in 1935 as it lies close to the New York-London Great Circle Route. A Great Circle Route, that is the shortest distance between 2 points on the sphere or a near-sphere object like the Earth. A strategic point during World War II, over 10,000 Allied troops were stationed at the location and more than 20,000 military aircraft stopped over the airport to refuel. Post-World War II, it became known as the crossroads of the world, as commercial transatlantic flights would stop to refuel here. Well, that is actually really cool to know. That is really cool to know. So, where's this airport is the question. Way down there yet. Okay, cool. So we're flying between the two original POIs. The other one is above us, right here, this cove. And then we are a little bit eastish. Who really cares? Doesn't matter. And we're going to land at this gigantic airport. No excuses for a perfectly smooth landing. Because even if there's a tree in the way there, we can land halfway down and have plenty of space. So hopefully we can get another good landing out of this and be 2 for 2 instead of 1 for 4. Okay, pretty straightforward. I'm going to let you fly for a while until we see the airport. We're not going to need this because the airport is not something we're going to miss. Cool. I'm curious what the GPS says. Is it still wrong? It says, oh, now it's right. Off to the right and then straight a little bit. So now we could use the GPS and autopilot. I really don't care. I like doing it this way. I'm kind of bummed that the GPS is working after leaving it because I like when they're forced to navigate, but whatever. Nothing to complain about. Let's check out some sights and I'll see you in a little bit. So somewhere out there's an enormous airport. It must be over here, just off to our right. Looks like it, right before a big river, which I don't see a big river. I mean, there's a pond thing. Oh, here's the big river right here, going all the way through. Okay. So airport's over here somewhere. We're going to keep our current trajectory until we can make out a runway, though. Actually, no, I think if we move to the right, we can fly straight in. Never mind, we'll do it that way. That'll be easier. Let's say once we make out a runway, then we'll line up. But let's just do it like this. And then we should be able to do a fly straight in type thing. So we're hand flying now. Obviously, we're going to maintain our altitude, if not climb just a tad more, just to make things a little bit easier for ourselves. And then once we see where we're landing, we'll come down and do all that stuff. And that'll conclude this video, and then we'll do the final 2 legs in the next video. I'm pretty sure that's a runway there, and then another one going like that. We're aiming for this as a runway. If I'm wrong, we will adjust as needed. Alright, so here we go, looking outside a few final times here, because we need to land a plane soon, and no excuses for a great landing. And this time, come on, Bonanza, we can be friends. We used to be best friends until an update that screwed everything up, and then it just got all wonky, but now it seems to be fine again. Now it's just me. But yeah, we'll land on that thing. It looks like a dirt strip, but it's not. I don't think. Alrighty, let's stop climbing. So let's bring back throttles a little bit. So you can start descending ever so slightly, and then we'll nose up to lose some speed as well. And come in for our nice, long, soft approach, which seems like it takes forever when you're doing an open area landing like this compared to some of the mountains we've had to fly in. And there is another new mountainous bush trip, which we'll do when we get there. A different experience from this one, of course. I see the control tower. I see a runway. I see the taxiway. Shouldn't be too complicated. Let's land this airplane. We gotta slow down. Crossing the river for those of you who are from the area. But you never know. I only have 2,000 subs and only about 80 people watch each video. But I seem to always have somebody from each place I fly. It's very interesting. Alright, come on. You can do it. Gear coming down. We never really get to look at that. There we go, gear coming down. Oh, that's a cool looking shot. And we'll do first set of flaps in a minute. And whoa, let's trim back because I'm fighting harder than I need to here. Is it trimming back? Is it trimming at all? Barely. Look at that barely move. Man, oh, we have some friends flying with us. That's cool. Alright, awesome. First set of flaps down, we will do full flap even though we probably don't need to. And we're going to really try to pay attention to when it stalls, because the first leg, it never stalled, even though we were into the red tape. The last three legs, last two legs, it stalled like 10 knots faster than the tape, so we're going to aim for that, or even faster still, and try to pay attention. Unless we have a very short field landing, we really don't need to worry about it that much. Alright, there's full flap, a little bit to the left. Put the lines between your legs. No matter the size of the airplane, if you put the lines between your legs, you will be in the middle. Just like driving a car. If you put yourself in the middle, your car's actually in the middle because of perspective. Alright, here we go. Keeping our speed up. See how it gets thicker there? It's like that's where it stalls instead of the red. Let's stay above the thicker part of the tape and don't clip those trees. Oh boy, there are trees right under us. Aim for those numbers. A little bit of throttle engaged. Much wider runway than it looks, so we're higher than it looks. It's taken me 20 some years of flight sim to finally start getting used to that perspective. There we go. Back on the throttles, let it stall and come down all on its own. There we go. It didn't stall at the tape, so I don't know what's going on. That time I was fine. Brakes to stop the wheels, flaps coming in. We use 1/20th of the runway, and that's the end of that leg, which means that's the end of this video. You can like and subscribe so you know when the final video of this bush trip with the final two legs will go live, and I'll see you then.